This is Minutia Men with Rick and Dave.
So you may notice that I look very relaxed right now.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm a
You're
little.
teaching that yoga class.
I'm a little upset with my son,
okay.
who has one class a week. He's staying home with us right now.
Nuclear physics?
Yeah. And he's got one college class a week.
Oh.
And right before you got here, he overslept that one class.
Let everybody know that I don't come at 6:30 in the morning.
No, it is noon. It's noon. And it's the one class he has all week.
Yeah.
And
he's been studying for the last 6 days.
Oh my God.
Right?
I think I'm going to try to channel some of that anger.
Okay. Into the
And it's white hot right now.
Okay. So this show can go either way.
It could go either way. It could.
All right.
No promises is all I'm saying. Because it is time.
So, when I walked in,
Uh-huh.
and I walk in, I go, "Hey, how you doing?" And you gave me and I've seen this look before.
Yeah.
I think the last time I saw this look was when you went to a bar and they told you didn't have a collared shirt and they wouldn't let you in. Right? I think you're madder now than you were at that point.
I really don't get mad very often.
Right.
I really don't. I'm a pretty mild-mannered guy.
Right.
In fact, I just came home from a trip to Richmond, Virginia. It was 70 degrees. We spent time with family. We met babies.
Yeah.
We had a wonderful weekend. I came back, and now I'm a little angry. I'm a little angry. I'm going to try to channel that anger
You know what I
into.
think is hilarious is let's rewind the Rick 40 years ago, Rick.
Yeah, no, I know. Hey, I know. Believe me, this is what my mother says immediately when I bring this up.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But I'm working through it. And right now it's time for Minutia Men.
The following is a Tony Lasano podcast, an Opie production on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. This is Minutia Men with Rick and Dave.
So how are you going to handle this evening when he comes home?
Well,
Is he even ever going to ever come home?
Well, it's a Wednesday. We're taping this on a Wednesday.
Right.
Wednesday nights we go to my mom's house for dinner, so he'll be on his best behavior there. And my mom will look at me like, "What's wrong with you? He's such a perfect child." And I'll be like, "Pass the schnitzel."
Mom, did you overcook this? This sauerkraut, this store-bought sauerkraut. All right. Well, let's have some frivolity.
Okay.
And maybe this will get you in a better mood. This story comes out of the UK, and by the way, Rick, we're ranked 194 in the UK.
Is that true?
Yeah, 194 right now.
That's pretty good.
Not that this stuff matters.
Wow, that's very high.
Not that I don't care about this.
Hey,
right?
hello, hello, mate.
Right. You wankers. Foul-mouthed parrots are unlikely stars at a British zoo.
Oh, okay.
Bird keepers, and you come from a long line of bird keepers. The
yeah, that's true. The Kempfer.
Yeah, what was the first?
There's
guy?
a Kempfer Toady Tyrant. There's a Kempfer Woodpecker. It's all because of Raymond Kempfer, who was a bird expert. And no, Emil. Kempfer.
Yeah. You gotta get your.
I know. Sorry, Raymond is another bird expert. This is true. Who is a professor somewhere in Colorado.
A Kempfer as well.
Yeah.
What is it with you guys?
I don't know.
Well, foul-mouthed birds, like I said, are unlikely stars at a British zoo. Bird keepers at the Lincolnshire Wildlife Park in Friskney, England, have a little bit of a problem on their hands, right?
Oh, what's that?
8 of their parents, names redacted, are parrots, not parents.
I was going to say, how many parents can you have?
I'm just seeing your white-hot hate right now. 8 of their parrots, names redacted, seem to have a bit of a swearing problem. Simply put, they're spouting extremely offensive and racist language toward visitors at the zoo.
Yeah.
A video of these bluebirds, see what I did there?
Yeah.
Have gone viral, amassing over 125 million views.
That's a lot of views.
Yes. Evidently, they hit a nerve here, and people love listening to parrots swear. Now the family-friendly park is...
This may actually be helpful to me to hear this.
You're gonna love the audio. Did you have a chance to listen to the audio?
I did, yes.
Okay, so now that the family-friendly park is trying a new plan in hopes to tame the parrots' language. And what they're doing is they're integrating them into a larger flock of unswearing parrots that don't swear. So it's going to be like, look at this nice parrot.
Yeah.
Right. He's not swearing. Right. He's not dropping the
Hello,
F-bomb.
Gentlemen.
Yeah, right. Right. It's like, it's like Bert from Mary Poppins. Those kind of parrots,
exactly.
right?
Hello, Governor.
Yeah, they're just dancing, right? So I got an audio of the swearing parrots. First of all, I think the problem is they're in England, where everybody swears all the time.
Right, exactly.
It's the most foul-mouthed country on earth.
And there are some words which are, maybe this is why we're so popular there. There are some words that they use that are never used in America.
None whatsoever.
And they're used like in, you know.
I heard it
as adjectives.
When we were in London, I don't know, it was right before the pandemic. I heard the C word.
That's the one I'm thinking about
all the time. And
the other big one is twat. Everyone's a twat. You're a twat. You're a twat. So it's something you don't hear in America very often.
But I got an audio of the swearing birds.
Okay, here it is.
God damn son of a bitch. Not that sweet. Not that sweet. I'll kick your ass.
I'll kick your ass.
Be quiet. You bitch. You bitch.
There's just a few of them.
And you know people are constantly going there now and just yelling at... But I bet they just picked this up, these parrots, from the normal visitors that are just...
I wouldn't be surprised at all. So I have a story for you. It's kind of related, actually. A recent study in Royal Society Open Science shows that humans can intuitively pick up on basic chicken emotions, excitement, discontent, etc., by the sounds of their clucks alone.
Okay.
All right. Nearly 70%, according to the study, 70% of people could match the cluck with the correct emotion, regardless of their previous experience with chickens or lack thereof.
How much of my tax dollars have been spent on this study?
Well, it makes you feel any better. This is Australia.
Okay, good.
The research reminds us that humans have an innate connection to other beings, and our ability to pick up universal signs of happiness and distress is something that we should be proud of, co-author Georg Henning of Australia's University in Queensland said. Now, you remember Larry Lujack?
Yeah, of course.
So Larry Lujack and I kind of became friends towards the end of his life, and we would talk on the phone occasionally.
For those of you who don't know who Larry Lujack is, perhaps the most famous morning disc jockey in Chicago from what?
70s, 80s, 60s.
I mean, he was huge.
Yeah, giant. But he became famous, or one of the things he became famous for was he was part of the opening of movies at movie theaters around Chicago, where he would say that he could hypnotize a chicken. Okay. Do you remember this?
No, I don't.
So he would hypnotize a chicken on the film right before the movie starts. This was like something that happened. And I asked him about that, and he told me that he was sitting in a meeting and they were asking what they could do. And he goes, well, I can hypnotize a chicken. And he was kind of joking. He had heard that this is possible. He was kind of joking. They said, that's it. Tomorrow we're going to the theater and we're going to film you.
We're going to Naperville.
Chicken. And he did it. He looked it up. He figured out how to do it, and he did it.
Really?
And it was on film forever. But anyway, so I was skeptical about this whole chicken thing. Yeah. And then I started watching some of these chicken videos, and I think I can actually also
hypnotize a chicken?
No, not hypnotize a chicken, but tell their emotions based on the clucking.
Okay.
So, you can find chicken videos everywhere. Yeah. And I think if you listen closely to this one, I think what this chicken is saying, the emotion is, I want to go camping.
Okay.
Is, but I'm reading it. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, okay.
And here it is.
Hey, boy, put that egghead book down, boy, because pay attention when I'm talking to you, boy. I say I'm gonna take you out to the woods and learn you about scouting and woodcraft.
See?
Yeah. I can do it. That's chicken leg. What's his?
That's Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah, I think I can do it pretty good.
Famous chicken.
Right. Asha, boy.
Yeah, all right. That's all right.
I'm working on my
not too bad.
David Bowie, too. I think in 3 episodes.
David Bowie?
I'm doing a David Bowie.
Wow.
I was listening to a couple of interviews with David Bowie. I'm like, I can do that for you.
Really?
Right.
Pencil it in, everybody.
Let me see
Pencil
if I
it
can
in.
channel a little David Bowie right now. Hold on. Little Fun Man. Not great. The wheel.
Work on it. Work on
You want
it.
to hear my Christopher Walken? No! Reviews. Ed Jones on Potable writes, listening to this podcast, I don't understand this at all. Listening to this podcast is like hanging out with friends you don't get to see very often. So, are these friends that you don't really like that you end up seeing like every once in a while?
Yeah, what does that mean? I think it's positive.
I
right?
think so, too.
I think so.
So it's like, hey, I love you guys. But then I'm like, I'll see you in 3 months.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
You know what? I'm totally fine that's our dynamic.
I'm with it.
Right.
I'm up with it. And it's time for another feature.
Time now for Studio Walls.
And the words of the prophets were written on the studio walls.
And when I say up with it, I mean down with it. Because I apparently have lost the ability to speak English. But that's just a part of what you get. I said, I'm up with that.
Oh, it's not I'm down with that?
Yeah, I don't know
I didn't even notice. I can't hear you, so.
All right, this is a big anniversary in history, and Studio Walls, it implores us, it forces us to go back into the archives and pull out something from this week in history that makes sense, that we can share with everybody. This week is the anniversary of the Lone Ranger. Now, you've heard of the Lone Ranger, obviously. The Lone Ranger was initially aired in Detroit radio in 1933. Okay, so it's been around
The year Hitler came to
since
power.
Is that right? Yes, it is the year Hitler came to power. And we needed the Lone Ranger then, and we need the Lone
We
Ranger
definitely
now.
need him now, yes.
But we have a different twist on the Lone Ranger. We wanted to bring it up to date a few years ago, and so we went with a kind of a different approach. How would you describe what we have done with this?
Well, we connected two things that were very important to us at the time, or at least with me.
Yeah.
Male pattern baldness and old 1930s radio,
So
which everybody makes that connection.
everybody does, and that's why it's called the Lone Rogainger.
Honey, do you think my comb over looks better this way? Or should I try it like the one Al Gore has?
I don't know, dear.
How quaint.
Boy, I sure wish there was someone I could talk to.
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of smoke, and a hearty Centrum Silver, the Lone Rogainger. With his faithful Native American companion, Pepto, the daring and resourceful masked rider leads the fight against middle age. Nowhere in the pages of history can you find a greater champion of the baby boomer plight. The Lone Rogainger rides again.
I'll get it.
Hello, good citizen. I'm the Lone Rogainger, and this is my faithful Native American friend, Pepto. What seems to be the trouble?
Well, you see,
No need, my balding friend. I see the trouble. What you need to do is puff up your frontal tuft like this and comb over using the traditional left over right method. See?
Remember, a puddle looked like lake to man dying of thirst.
That's right, Pepto.
Honey, look!
Oh, thank you, sir.
Come on, Pepto. We're done here. Hi-ho, Centrum Silver! Away!
How was that, masked man?
I've learned another lesson from the Lone Rogainger and his faithful Native American friend Pepto.
It's okay. You can talk.
This is never going to end. I love your Native American. That was you on the radio,
What?
right?
Wait a minute.
your Native American kind of
Slightly.
little
Yes, but I
racist.
said Native American.
Yeah, that's right. I did.
It
Right.
was kind of like a him say go, kind of thing. But,
So Al Gore, what was this? 20 years?
Yeah, we did that on John Landerker's show. Around 1999 or so.
25 years ago.
Yeah.
When
and we did it because Landecker is a huge Lone Ranger fan,
and he was losing
his hair.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the
origin. But I love your
that.
line. A puddle looks like lake to man dying of thirst.
It's so true.
Every bald man who went through that knows, like, you know what? I think if I could just fluff this up a little bit and maybe squill it a little bit and let it there.
Okay, we have to go to the next section here, and this is an answer to last week's request. All right, first of all, let's play the jingle.
Let's.
Time now for Rick and Dave to both share a story or two about things going on in their lives. Involving the kids, the wives, or both. And now, Rick and Dave.
So, if you tuned into last week's podcast, you know that I told the most humiliating story about my parenting life, and that was when I took Johnny to jail because he was hitting other kids. And it was embarrassing because it was just, we talked earlier in the show how I kind of lose it occasionally. I lost it today with my third son.
The 21-year-old.
The difference is Johnny was 3 at the time. It was maybe a little traumatic for him. And I feel terrible about it still to this day. And you made me tell this story on the air. And I said, in exchange for me telling this story, you have to tell your most humiliating parenting story ever. And now let's all pull our chairs up and be ready for Dave's story.
This is just like people did during the Lone Rogainger days, or Lone Ranger days. They sat around the radio listening to stories, right? Yes. Storytelling. So this was, Lila was like 5, okay? And the twins were 2. So we had 3 kids.
16 years ago.
Yeah, something like that. And I was alone with 3 little kids, a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 2-year-old. So I call that the shit show years.
Yeah, right? My God, that's like put a gun in your mouth right there.
So it was just, you would call and there'd just be screaming. I couldn't even have a conversation.
For several years, we could not speak.
So it was right after Halloween, and we, in a rare moment of parental discipline, we would tell Lila, because the twins didn't have candy back then, you can have 1 piece of candy a day from your Halloween basket, right?
Okay.
So,
that's nice.
Whatever. So Lila's crying about wanting more candy. The twins there's some disaster with the twins. There was, I'm running around. There's probably feces, going down the stairs and whatever. Mm-hmm. So I go, okay, Lila, I will give you another piece of candy. And I ran and I went to her bucket and I got her. Remember one of those things that were like made out of wax with Kool-Aid in the middle?
Yeah, sure.
Those long tubes. So I go, here you go. Stop bothering me. Honey, baby.
Right.
Just, sweetie, just give me a few minutes. I have to deal with, Aaron with a knitting needle in Julia's eye right now. So I do whatever I have to do with the twins. And I come back and Lila has like antifreeze green, like paint or something all over her arms and her dress. And I'm like, what the hell? And then she's like, looks up and I noticed that wax tube was a glow stick.
Oh.
So I had given her a glow stick and she bit the tip of the glow stick off. To this day, I have no idea how much of the toxic
that
green
cannot
neon
be
crap,
good.
whatever. She got into college. She didn't get into Harvard.
Yeah.
So perhaps the University of Illinois, maybe she had enough of the, they made her dumb enough. And I just, and then, so the crap.
Joel, you're not getting into Princeton. University of Illinois,
exactly.
here I come.
It was her risky business. And I remember her dress was just full of this paint. And I'm like, so Michelle was coming home. It was like 10 minutes before she got home. So I'm like, I have got to.
You called Harvey Keitel.
right.
The cleanup crew.
The fixer came or whatever. The cleaner came. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I can't cop to this. In fact, I think this is the first time I've ever told the story out loud.
I think you might have said it before. But
so I tried to rinse out the dress, and I'm like, screw it. So I just threw it away. I just threw it.
You threw the dress away? Wow. All right, this is pretty good.
Yeah, I threw the dress away.
I'm feeling a little bit better. I hope our listeners are feeling a little bit better, too.
Right. So don't...
Have you ever fed your children toxic elements?
Glow stick.
Yeah.
But don't. I mean, on Halloween, don't give kids glow sticks. Right?
Yeah, it's the people's fault. It's the people that gave the nice people in the neighborhood who wanted to give the kids a thrill.
Give them Snickers. Give them some palm oil. Give them some diabetes. Don't give them
some diabetes.
Give them a glue stick.
Okay. Well, I have a story for you that you may enjoy. This is a political story, but I'm not going to take a political position on it, okay? A member of the Missouri Senate has proposed a rule change that, if passed, would allow senators to challenge each other to a duel. Senator Nick Schroer... Missouri.
Yeah, that works.
Senator Nick Schroer put a motion to the state's Senate to adopt a rule change allowing state politicians to settle grievances through physicality.
Sure.
It read, if a senator's honor is impugned by another senator to the point that it is beyond repair, and in order for the offended senator to gain satisfaction, such senator may rectify the perceived insult to the senator's honor by challenging the offending senator to a duel.
Okay.
The trusted representative, known as the second of the offended senator, shall send a written challenge to the offending senator. The two senators shall agree to the terms of the duel, including choice of weapons, which shall be witnessed and enforced by their respective seconds. Okay. This is how it works. Yeah. The duel shall take place in the well of the Senate at the hour of noon on the date agreed to by the parties of the duel.
Okay. So are they writing... You said they write a letter to the next... They write a letter to the guy that they want to duel?
Yeah, that's how you do it.
This is a whole new industry for you, right? I mean, you're already... writing eulogies. My God, you could be the official duel writer.
Do the pre-eulogy.
Yeah. And then it's a tube. You get a Groupon.
Well, I just, first of all, I just want to say this obviously is not going to pass. Right?
It's Missouri.
But I'm in favor of it.
Absolutely.
In fact, why stop there? I say let's get a Coliseum.
Yep.
Two senators with swords and shields. Mm-hmm. Let the audience decide after one of the senators puts a sword to the throat of the other one. Thumbs up or thumbs down
with placards.
Yes,
right, like
yes. If they're gonna kill him or not.
Yeah. You put it on pay-per-view.
Hear me out.
Okay.
All the senators on the floor, the Coliseum, with one or two hungry lions.
Okay.
And the slowest members.
The
lions aren't going to eat all of them because lions only eat so
50,
much.
Right, there's 100. Right, there's 50
right. I mean, Chuck Grassley's screwed, but some of the other younger Mitch McConnell. Sorry, it's not going to work out for you.
Yeah, you had a good run.
Yeah, but there's some other younger, more spry. But this is my solution, and I think.
Well, we could sell souvenir cups. Right
now you're thinking
T-shirts.
Now you're thinking marketing.
Now marketing, right? $3.50. You get the dual cup with free refills.
Fantastic.
Oh my God!
You know who? One of our founding fathers would not be in favor of this, but Alexander Hamilton. But I think most of the others would be in favor of it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm totally fine.
Okay.
And again, binge watch it on Netflix. Do a whole.
I mean, really, there's no limit to the entertainment. We all kind of feel the same about the people that
all of them. Yeah.
Somehow they're all getting elected, which is our own fault. But
then would you elect a senator on would some of the things you'd think about as qualifications, how good in a duel they would be?
Well, no, I think you do the opposite.
So you'd want the one that to get wasted.
Right.
Like me or you would be.
Right. I mean, aren't we kind of already living in that world? Yeah. Where people are getting chosen on that basis,
purely like who can.
All right. So anyway, that's my subtle political statement.
That's our civics lesson.
And I'm not taking sides, but it's time for one more feature.
A random name pulled out of Rick's bowl of brushes with celebrities. Mixture, collection, selection, assemblage, medley, assortment, variety. Time now for Celebrity Potpourri with Rick and Dave.
I just have a vision of Mitch McConnell running from a lion right now.
I mean, I would just rewind and watch it over and over and over again. Now, Dave, you know who Brent Peterson is?
Oh, yeah.
So, a friend of ours, a fellow podcaster, he hosts a show called Destination Eat Drink,
which was endorsed by AARP.
It was endorsed by AARP. He also wrote a book for us called Truffle Hunt. This week, he's done something beyond the call. He has sent us a celebrity potpourri story.
Okay.
Which I'd like to read to you now. In 2016, Bruce Springsteen did a series of book signings to promote his autobiography, Born to Run. On December 1st, he did an appearance in Austin, where I was living at the time, at a place called Book People. Knowing it was probably my only chance to shake his hand before one of us died, I stood in line for 3 hours and waited for my chance. When I finally got to the front, I said, "Thank you very much for the music." Bruce said, "You're welcome." I said, "You know, they say you should never meet your idols." Bruce responded, "I've heard that." So I said, "Hopefully you're not too nervous." Bruce responded with silence. Unfortunately, the only record of this encounter is a blurry photo taken by an employee at the bookstore, which we can post on our Instagram page, which, by the way, now has over 300 followers.
Oh, wow. It's huge.
And the reason I'm reading this one this week is because Brent asked me to be on his Destination Eat Drink show. It's going to post on Friday.
You're like David Brenner. Remember whenever Johnny Carson would be out, David Brenner would do it?
Yeah.
How many times have you done?
I think this is the 6th or 7th time I've been on the show. Next Friday's show, February 9th, is all about Swiss cuisine. And I'll be the guest. We'll talk about all the things I saw on my recent trip to Switzerland, and we'll probably mention my accident, my biking accident, and stuff like that. So be sure to check it out, Destination Eat Drink. It drops February 9th. Now, we do have another show.
He's never asked me to do the show.
What's that?
He's never asked me to do the show.
Yeah, I know, because you like macaroni and cheese and stuff like that. And it's like a foodie show.
Glow sticks.
Yeah. And you don't have the setup at home like I do. We do another show, which has been kind of on hiatus for a while because we didn't have our equipment working properly, but now we have it all, cross your fingers, have it all ready to go. Tell everybody who we're going to have on the show this week.
So we've got Max Joseph, and Max Joseph was the host, and I think was he the director and the producer of Catfish, right?
Yeah, I think he wrote it too.
And Catfish was a huge hit on MTV. It's not going anymore.
No, I think it still is.
But is he though? Well,
no, he's not on the show anymore.
So we've got him on, and he's done a whole bunch of other things. He's written for HBO and so on and so forth.
He did a special with Monica Lewinsky on HBO. There's lots of cool stuff to talk to him about. Be sure to check out Minutia Man Celebrity Interview next week, and it should be up there. We have people to thank. We have to thank Tony Lasano, who you visited this week.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, gave you a stack of
free kicks cards for you to distribute. Yeah,
to distribute.
Right, and our old motherboard now is with him, and he's gonna take it to the Lane Tech electric shop and have it fixed. Perhaps
is that true?
I don't know.
Is that
no.
You just make that up?
Just made that up.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, we should thank him because he is our executive producer. We also need to thank Ed Silla, who distributes the show. Thanks to Ed. The Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Great talk radio hasn't died.
No.
It's just gone to a better place, which is radiomisfits.com. And we'll be back again next week with a brand new episode of
Minutia Men.
The proceeding was a presentation of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Find our other great shows on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and at radiomisfits.com. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Opie Productions.
Tony, can you shut up?